Mihawk and Shanks have most likely surpassed Roger in their own way. What I mean by that is they have their own strengths that suit their capabilities, but their strengths have exceeded that of Roger. And I know that's like a crazy take for a lot of people these days. And it's an early take because a lot of people still think Roger and Whitebeard and Garp are better than Dragon, Mihawk, Akainu, and Shanks. And I just don't think that's the case anymore. I definitely think the newer generation has surpassed the old, that being Shanks's generation, Mihawk's generation. And I think one of the key things we have to look at here is how Mihawk and Shanks fought each other so many times. And I think that's where a lot of their experience or Hucky Bloom comes from. These guys fought each other and didn't scar each other, by the way. That's huge. They fought each other for so long, so many times, got better and better and better each time, developing their Haki, armament Haki, observation Haki, even Conqueror's Haki for both of them. If you don't think Mihawk has Conquerors, I don't know what you're reading because Zoro has it. Like, it's kind of crazy if you don't think he has it. And I do question how you comprehend the story. But you also have to understand, like, Shanks has developed an observation Haki we haven't seen before. And that's where he can basically cancel observation Haki from his opponents. And that is wild. And then the fact that he can do that, you have to think about, where did he learn that? Why did he need to learn that? And the only thing I can think of is why Shanks needed to learn that is because of Mihawk. Because there's this one panel in Marineford, and this takes me back. It's a Marineford panel, and it's Luffy about to do his bazooka against Mihawk. And in the manga, there's this panel of Mihawk's eye looking at Luffy. And then the next panel is like a dream state kind of thing where Mihawk cuts Luffy's arms off. And then the panel after that, it's Luffy not continuing his attack and understanding he would have lost his arms. And a lot of people think that's Luffy using observation Haki, but I think there's more to it. And I think it's actually Mihawk projecting his advanced future sight onto Luffy. So what I mean by that is Mihawk is essentially projecting a future that can happen to Luffy if he pursues this action. And a lot of people will think, why is this broken? Why is it broken? Mihawk can show you what he could potentially do and then do something completely opposite. That's why it's broken. Like, you could go to swing left and Mihawk will come in on the right because you've overexposed yourself. That's why it's broken. And you have to also look at the contrast between Mihawk and Shanks. Mihawk was most likely out of the slums. He grew up out of the slums and worked his way up to the top. Shanks, while he was born a celestial dragon, he ended up being a pirate. So they've like had this complete opposite effect. Yet somehow they have both ended up at the top of the world. Even Mihawk states in the starting chapters of the series back in Baratie that he is at the top of the world. And I definitely think Mihawk is above Kaido, but I don't think Mihawk ever had the chance to fight Kaido. And that's a key thing is people in the One Piece world don't have the chance every time to fight a different person because of circumstances. This is a big thing in Marineford as well. When you look at when Mihawk stepped up to the plate to check out Whitebeard. The big thing is Mihawk never got a chance to fight Whitebeard because Whitebeard's always surrounded by a bajillion people. And Mihawk is but one man. And then that whole, let's see how far away we are. I think that was more of a, because there's multiple translations here, and the translation that stuck with me is that Mihawk feels that Whitebeard is off here. He isn't what he is known to be, the strongest man in the world, and it's past him. And now Mihawk understands that and wanted to just check it for himself. But then you have people saying that Mihawk and Marineford is equal to Vista. Well, I don't know what you read in Marineford, but Mihawk didn't do anything in Marineford. The only thing Mihawk did was swing Yoru around, because Yoru was the one doing all the work. And what I mean by that is Mihawk was only using Yoru's strength. Just the sword. Just the strongest sword in the world against everyone else. He wasn't using his strength on top of the sword. Just to see what the sword can do and see if there's any challenges for the sword. And there wasn't. And don't get it twisted. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Cool. It is what it is. You know, I read the story wrong and that's what it is. You know, Roger is the legend he is. No one has surpassed him, even though, you know, Roger wasn't even the strongest in his era. It was potentially Whitebeard and Rocks, but, you know, people don't want to even entertain that theory. And then Mihawk is just a bum, which Zoro has already surpassed. Like, what are we talking about? And this is why a lot of people get it twisted as well, because of like the whole Zoro and Sanji agenda. Like, I don't care for your agenda piece. I like it for comedy, but like agenda piece in general is just stupid. Absolutely stupid. You know, Zoro will end up top 5 or top 3 end of series. Oh, outlandish to say. At least 2 Black Blades, because he has 2 curses, Enma and Ashura. So that's 2 Black Blades over Roger, 1 Black Blade over Mihawk. What else? He's going to have Advanced Conqueror's Haki and be proficient with it like Shanks. He's going to be the world's strongest swordsman, you know, surpassing Shanks and Mihawk. Shanks is a swordsman through and through. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And it's these kind of takes that get people bad reps, or they get them in trouble in the community, or they get laughed upon. It's like, what are you even reading? And then you get these horrendous takes where Katakuri is above, you know, people that he's been power cliffed by, i.e. King, Zoro, I don't know who else. But like, Katakuri is a relic of the previous, you know, few arcs. And that's normal in a shonen series for us to power creep up. You might not like it because he's your favorite character or whatever, but don't have too much emotion towards a character in that sense. I think you need to look at it as, I like the character. It is what it is. You know, if he gets beaten, it's normal. People get surpassed every day in something. And yet people are out here defending with their lives that Sanji is going to be greater than Zoro. Oh, it's like, it's exhausting, but it's also at the same time, who gives a crap? Like, why do you care? I don't. It's just, I get tired of hearing the same thing every day. You know, Sanji's character is not to be the strongest swordsman alive, which is basically almost the strongest person alive. It is to find the all blue. And don't get me wrong, Sanji is uber broken. Regeneration, Germa genes, potentially he is a devil fruit. Like, have you guys seen that? That's crazy. The swirls, he can make fire. Like, potentially he's also a Lunarian or has Lunarian DNA. Like, it just goes on. This guy is like uber haxed. Uber haxed. And then people still want to downplay or upplay or whatever they want to do for agenda piece. It's like, get the agenda piece out of your brain. It's toxic. It's boring. It's only funny in certain scenarios when you get like, you know, Sanji asking Robin for help. Oh, Zoro would never do that. But then you get Zoro, you know, fighting Lucci for bloody 20 chapters when it's been like 30 seconds. But it's like every week it's the same thing with these guys. Sorry, bit of a tangent, but I think that's the end of the video. Yeah, I do have Mihawk and Shanks over Roger and most of the old generation. I think that's fair. If you have any thoughts, just throw them down in the comments section. I'm happy to talk. I have no issues with anyone. I don't want any issues with anyone. I just do this for fun. If you enjoy the content, leave a like. If you didn't, do whatever you want. We move on. Hope you all have a good day. Peace.